listening to the Ocean Rowing Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Painter, physical therapist and owner of Strong and Empowered Rowing. I help people continue their love of rowing without aches and pains. Along the way, I decided I wanted to row across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm finding it super hard to get in touch with previous ocean rowers and find the answers on how to make this possible. So this podcast is to share my story and what I learn as I get ready for and ultimately cross the Atlantic Ocean. Hear from experts in different areas and from others who have completed ocean rows. So anyone who wants to do this has easy access and we can share our stories with the world. All right, welcome to update episode number 11, which is episode 22 of the Ocean Rowing Podcast. So I'm really excited to share with you where I am at in my process. This is another short and quick update episode, but I started some training. So what I did for training right now is I made it a goal, nothing like Michelle Lee did, but I am going to row 1 million meters this year in 2020. Hopefully I'll get more than that as well, but that's where I'm starting, just to kind of get some consistency going and really just kind of get myself rowing and doing things. So that's where I am starting. And I also wanted to leave you guys with, if you follow the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge or TWAC, and you follow it from this past year, the 2019 one, and there are still people going, but if you follow that race, the Swiss 1S, she is rowing all by herself, all nice and solo, across the Atlantic, and she had a capsize, and she got it on film. And in that process, while getting it on film, I was talking to one of our previous people who was on, our previous guests who was on the podcast, Greg Spooner, and he reached out to me and he asked what I thought, or if I had thoughts on ways that it could be a little bit more safe for if that happened. And I wanted to also throw that at you guys. So I've been thinking about it for a few weeks and I have some ideas. I'm still pondering, and then I'm going to reach back out to him and let him know my thoughts and learn from him as well. But I'm interested in what you guys think as well. So feel free to email and share it. And if you're looking to row an ocean, just start to think, how can you go find the video? Think, how can you change things? What could be better? What could go worse? Things like that. So that the more we think about things, the more we're prepared and ready. And that's part of what this podcast is. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And as always, I have had some people reach out recently, but if you've got questions or that you want answered, or if you have people that you think would be awesome on the podcast, please let me know. But you should go check out the Swiss 1S. I believe her name is Gabby. I'm bad with names, so I'm trying. I believe it's Gabby. Go check her out and watch her. She also has some awesome dancing videos, which are pretty cool to watch. But that's what I wanted to share right now, so shout out to her. And the one other thing that I wanted to actually bring attention to is there is a Facebook group. If you are a female ocean rower, it is the Oarsome Woman of Ocean Rowing, and I'm going to include a link in the show notes. But basically, some people put together an ocean rowing group, and they've got basically questions in here every Friday that are really kind of awesome and tailored towards females and the things you might go through rowing. It's Rachel, Sally, and Gwen, I hope I pronounced her name right, who started this group, and you should definitely check it out if you know any female ocean rowers who might benefit from it. That is my plug for them. It's an awesome group. Every Friday they ask these questions. The last one was, what was your experience of teamwork, even if you rowed solo? The one before that, how'd you stay clean and fresh-ish out at sea? So just some fun comments, and it's great to read the answers. And then next week, the next podcast, is with Diane Carrington, and she had an awesome podcast. It was awesome talking to her. There's more information on the website, Ocean Rowing Podcast, but she was the first and the oldest woman to row across the Atlantic Ocean in a trio in 2017. Huge insight, especially for female rowers. So on that note, and she's the one who told me about that group, and lots of advice about food. And she actually talks about her traumatic experience with capsizing twice, which kind of goes with what I mentioned earlier with Gabby. So check that episode out. That comes out on February 27th. Hit that subscribe button if you like it. And if you do a review on iTunes, that also helps people find this podcast. But I hope that you're enjoying it. Reach out with questions, and I hope you all have an amazing day.